Picture this, mate. A private hangar, Charlotte, North Carolina. Two of the most powerful men in American motorsport sitting across from each other, and neither of them is smiling. On one side, Rick Hendrick, the billionaire car dealer who's won 15 Cup championships and doesn't lose negotiations. On the other side, Michael Jordan. Yeah, that Michael Jordan. 6 rings, a basketball god, and now a man with a serious NASCAR problem. And the name they're both circling, a Kiwi legend from Auckland who isn't even supposed to be in this conversation, Shane van Gisbergen, SVG, the bloke who walked into Chicago in 2023, won his very first Cup race, and has since racked up 6 road course victories in barely 2 seasons. Fair dinkum, the man is a unicorn. But here's what nobody is telling you. SVG isn't just waiting for an offer. He's playing both of these titans against each other like a chess grandmaster. And the prize, the most valuable empty seat in NASCAR, the number 48 at Hendrick Motorsports, Alex Bowman's seat, the seat Jimmy Johnson made famous, the seat that comes with 7 championships of pedigree. This isn't a rumor. This is a strategy. And by the end of this video, you're going to see exactly how SVG is using Jordan as leverage and why Trackhouse Racing might be about to lose the best foreign-born driver in NASCAR history. Stick with me, because the first piece of evidence is already buried in the data. Let's rewind to August 2025. Trackhouse Racing announces with massive fanfare a multi-year contract extension for SVG Champagne. Press release, the whole shebang. The fans cheered. Justin Marks looked like a genius, but 2 weeks later, Trackhouse drops the real bombshell. Connor Zilisch, a 19-year-old Xfinity phenom with 10 wins and 18 consecutive top 5s in 2025, is getting promoted full-time to the Cup Series for 2026. The number 88, the Golden Boy, and just like that, the dynamic shifts. Suddenly, every paint scheme reveal, every sponsor announcement, every team marketing push centers on the teenage prodigy from North Carolina, SVG. He becomes the other car, the road course specialist, the novelty act they wheel out for Watkins Glen and Sonoma. And the data backs this up. Through 2026, SVG has 1 Cup win, a brilliant drive at Watkins Glen in May. But on ovals, the number 97 is running mid-pack at best. Meanwhile, Zilisch and SVG have already been into each other twice on track. Sonoma, the thumbs-up incident, the trading paint, the Kiwi giving his teammate a cheeky wave mid-pass. Now ask yourself, does that look like a happy family to you? Or does it look like a bloke who knows he's been demoted to second-class citizen in his own team? Because if SVG sees what we see, he's already made his next move, and it leads straight to a phone call he made in March. Here's where it gets full on. In late March 2026, sources inside the NASCAR garage started whispering about a meeting. Not a Trackhouse meeting, a Toyota meeting. Specifically, 23XY Racing, Michael Jordan's team, Denny Hamlin's pet project, now 23X. I just announced Corey Heim is going full-time in 2027 in the number 35. So on paper, the seat's gone. But here's the smoking gun Jordan has been publicly pushing for: a 4th car. He's been at every race. He's in every strategy meeting. NBC Sports literally ran a feature in 2026 about how MJ's presence has transformed the operation. And what driver does Toyota desperately want? A road course assassin who can win them championships in the playoff format? A global marketing asset? A bloke whose face moves merchandise in Australia, New Zealand, and the US? That's SVG, tailor-made, custom fit. But here's the genius part. SVG didn't take the 23XY offer. He let it leak. He let Rick Hendrick hear about it, because right now Alex Bowman is sitting 102 points behind 16th place in the owner's standings. The number 48 hasn't won a meaningful race in nearly a year. And Hendrick Motorsports, a 4-car Chevrolet powerhouse, is staring at the possibility of missing the playoffs with one of their flagship cars. Rick Hendrick doesn't tolerate that, ever. And SVG knows it. So before we crack open the Hendrick playbook, there's something I need to ask you directly. Right, quick pause because YouTube tells me 70% of you watching right now aren't subscribed. And let me guess where you're from: Australia, New Zealand, maybe a few legends in the UK. You're here because you've been fuming watching SVG get treated like the spare wheel at Trackhouse. So here's the deal: if you reckon SVG deserves a proper shot at a championship winning ride, if you're tired of seeing the bloke who dominated supercars get sidelined for a 19-year-old prodigy, then hit that subscribe button right now and join the 97 Nation. We're the ones decoding this stuff without the American media spin. We're the ones telling it straight. Sorted? Beautiful. Now let's get back to the part that's going to blow your mind, because the number 48 isn't just available. It's been engineered to be available. Let me walk you through the technical reality. Hendrick Motorsports runs 4 cars: the number 5 with Larson, the number 9 with Chase Elliott, the number 24 with Byron, and the number 48. 3 of those cars have made the playoffs every year since 2023. The number 48, Bowman, snuck in last year, but has been a non-factor in the championship picture for 3 straight seasons. Bowman's stats in 2026 tell the whole story. His first top 5 didn't come until Talladega in April. His average finish through the spring stretch sits well outside the top 15, and insiders including Bob Pockris and the lads at Daily Downforce have already named Corey Day and Daniel Dye as potential 2027 replacements. But here's the curiosity loop I want to plant in your head. Neither of those names is the frontrunner, because Rick Hendrick doesn't develop drivers anymore. He signs champions. He poached Kyle Larson. He poached Alex Bowman from Junior, and the next move, it's not internal, it's external. Now think about sponsorship logic. Ally Financial, the number 48's primary sponsor, wants global reach. They want a story. They want a name that moves the needle outside the American Southeast. Corey Day is a sprint car kid from Clovis, California. Brilliant talent, no global brand. SVG, he's a 3-time Supercars champion with a Bathurst 1000 trophy and a fan base that spans 3 continents. You see where this is going. And there's one more piece of the puzzle, the Chevrolet factor. SVG is already in a Chevy. Switching to Toyota means relearning an entirely different engine package, a different aero philosophy, a different simulator program. But moving from the number 97 Chevy to the number 48 Chevy, that's a Tuesday. Same manufacturer, same engineering ecosystem, same race shop in Concord, basically next door. But there's a clause, a specific clause in SVG's Trackhouse extension that nobody's talking about, and it's the reason this whole thing might actually happen. Multi-year contracts in NASCAR almost always contain performance escalators and exit windows, and based on how Justin Marks has structured Trackhouse deals in the past, there's strong reason to believe SVG's extension includes a manufacturer change clause. Meaning if the team's competitive structure shifts dramatically, say, if a teenage teammate gets the lion's share of resources, SVG has an out. That's the leverage, that's the smoking gun. So now SVG sits in the middle of the biggest decision of his career. 2 doors. Door number 1, Michael Jordan, Toyota. 23XY Racing, a team built on swagger, basketball king marketing power, and a co-owner who is personally invested in winning. The downside? It's a manufacturer switch, and the number 35 with Corey Heim is already locked in for 2027. SVG would need 23X1 to expand to a 4th charter possible, but not guaranteed. Door number 2, Rick Hendrick, Chevrolet, the number 48, the most decorated car number in modern NASCAR history. Proven championship infrastructure, same manufacturer, and a boss who has won 15 titles by knowing exactly when to make the ruthless call on a driver. But here's the kicker: SVG doesn't actually have to choose. Not yet. Because every day he lets Jordan's interests float in the press. Every day, the Aussie and Kiwi fan base keeps trending #FreeSVG. The pressure on Hendrick to make a move on Bowman ratchets up another notch. This is exactly how Kyle Larson got his Hendrick seat back in 2020. leverage, timing, and a boss who saw the value before anyone else did. The question isn't if SVG is leaving Trackhouse. The question is which billionaire blinks first and which one writes the bigger check. So now I want to hear from you because the comment section on this channel is sharper than half the American NASCAR analysts going around. If you reckon SVG should take the Rick Hendrick deal, slot into the number 48, and chase a championship in proven Chevy machinery, drop A in the comments below. If you reckon Michael Jordan, Toyota, and 23XY Racing is the real power move, the one that turns SVG into a global icon and finally gives Trackhouse the middle finger they deserve, drop a basketball. And if you reckon Trackhouse pulls a rabbit out of the hat, fires Connor Zilisch off to the number 99 and rebuilds the whole program around SVG, drop a, because that's the dark horse scenario nobody's talking about. Either way, this silly season is about to detonate, and the next 90 days are going to decide which color helmet Shane van Gisbergen wears when the green flag drops at Daytona in February 2027. The 97 Nation has spoken before. Time to speak again. We'll see you in the next one.